Hello, hello. What's up, everyone? It's Jordan here with Goblin's Garden, and today I'm going to be going over one of our most recent trips with you all. I was really excited to do this. We went to Canada. We drove to Canada from Southwest Washington, and it took a few hours, but getting over the border was super easy. It only took us like 20 minutes, and then we booked a room at a casino resort. It was a really nice room. We were really high up, but the only thing was the window wasn't clean, so I didn't have a nice view, which is kind of a bummer, but we are out exploring now. This was the River Rock Casino Resort, which was pretty big, actually, and it sprawled a couple blocks. But the cool part is that right next to this casino was the Richmond night market, which I will show you here in a second. But we had to stop and get some food when we first got there. Went into the casino and got a dank ass crispy chicken sandwich. Didn't gamble because we're not too big on gambling, but here we are at the Richmond night market, which was a lot of fun. I didn't know it was going to be so busy, so poppin', but it was fucking packed full of people. And it was mostly like Asian booths with like different cuisines and stuff. And then there was a lot of anime booths, a lot of cute like trinket sort of stuff. I got a couple things. And we walked around a little bit. There was some really pretty lights, and there was rides and games. And we were just checking it all out, taking it all in. Like I said, there was a lot of people, and that's not usually our vibe, being in big crowds, but it was a lot of fun. It was really pretty. And at this booth, I got one of those super cute headbands to like hold your hair back and stuff when you're like washing your face or whatever. There was a lot of giant dinosaur statues, which I thought was a little random, but they were really cool. This car had Pikachu on it. It was sick. Back in our hotel room the next morning, and there was this like really nice coffee maker that I wanted to show you. It took me fucking forever to figure it out because I'm a little dense, but we figured it out. Made myself some fucking coffee. Got my day going. It was delicious. Also got some room service because I didn't feel like going down to the casino restaurants. Got some room service breakfast. And then we started our adventures. This was the Van Dusen Botanical Garden. And it was a huge, huge botanical garden in Vancouver, BC. And it had all native plants and obviously some not native plants, but all different gardens to walk through. This was the cool maze that they had that was like all out of like topiary greenery and hedges and stuff. So we started going through the maze, but then there was like a bunch of like younger kids that were just being super rowdy, and I wasn't feeling the vibe, so we didn't go all the way in. Instead, I was like, I kind of want to just see the whole maze, so I went up to get a nice vantage point so I could see the maze. But it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Here we go. The view of the maze. Pretty good size. But yeah, there was some kids just running around screaming in there, and I'm like, I'm trying to chill. This is a botanical garden, It's about reflection and meditation and whatnot, and not yelling. So we moved on. There was a lot of creeks and ponds and very intentionally curated spaces that I loved. I love going through and looking at all the different plants. There was a lot that were similar to the plants back home, especially like this trillium. This is a native trillium that are very hard to cultivate on their own. So that was really cool to see. It's like similar plants, but also slightly different from back home. It was a little bit too early in the season to see the blooming rhododendrons and azaleas. Some of them were blooming, but not all of them. We went in late April. So some of the earlier stuff was blooming, but not everything. But you can see some purple flowers, some white flowers here. So it was all starting to pop off, and it was beautiful. And it wasn't too busy either, which was nice. We passed, a few people here and there, but for the most part, we were able to take our time, take photos. They had black squirrels. Do you see that? I'm zooming in on that black squirrel. I don't know why, I really wanted to show you guys this because they were so elusive. They were not nearly as friendly as the gray squirrels that you see like here in like Portland and Vancouver, Washington, that just like run up to you and run across the roads and stuff. This guy was very elusive, but I got him on camera. And this was back at the main hub of the gardens that's right next to a restaurant that they have, or a cafe. There was a lot of geese. And I know geese can be a little unpredictable, so I kept my distance. But they had some beautiful ponds, and right here we're walking up to one of the biggest ponds that they have, with a fountain in the middle. And the whole place was just so serene, and like I said, very intentionally curated, that I really appreciate as a fellow gardener. It was so much fun to go through and see all the different plants. And then we went to the conservatory, Blodell Conservatory, I think that's called. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. We had to walk up a good bit of hill to get up there. It like wraps around the building, and you can overlook some smaller gardens as you walk up, but we're getting pretty high up in elevation here. And even right here, this isn't even the highest point, but it's already a beautiful view. You have a lot of people stopping to take photos and stuff, and I didn't want their faces, on camera, so. But here down below is the smaller garden that they have at the conservatory, with a pond, and it was very pretty. Really overcast. Like it was almost going to start to rain, but didn't quite start raining. And we're not even all the way up yet. We're not even all the way to the conservatory. This was a beautiful, beautiful view. And far out on the other side, those hills are just massive. They're huge. They're almost mountains in their own right, and they're just right outside the city. So it was really a perspective to see such big, huge mountains so close to the city. And here we go. We are walking up to the conservatory. And it was really big, like huge. I'm trying to think of something that's similar size, and it's hard. Maybe like the size of like 2 or 3 Trader Joe's. That's such a random size comparison, but it was really big. And we get inside. It's actually kind of busy, but it was cool. All tropical plants and higher zone plants like magnolias and stuff, making this a very tropical, humid vibe. There was tropical birds, koi fish, all different types of, like I said, tropical and higher zoned plants. And it was just beautiful. The birds were probably one of the main attractions. And you'll see here there's a little wishing well we flipped some money into. Make a wish for good luck. Because why not? I never usually flip coins into wells unless it specifically says it's a wishing well, just because I know that can be harmful to water sources. But this says wishing well, has a little sign on it, so we flipped a coin and made a wish. Look at those huge monsteras. Those are beautiful. I love them. The giant birds of paradise, palm trees, bromeliads, just beautiful, beautiful plants that here, especially in the Northwest, you usually only see as houseplants, smaller houseplants. Ooh, look. Here you can see some of the tropical birds. I honestly don't know any of these type of birds, but they're all really pretty. And that was just at the beginning. It wraps around, the trail wraps around the whole conservatory. Ooh, and you can see parrots right there. Cool parrot guys. Hey, buddies. And they were just chilling, they didn't get too close to people or anything. They just hung out. There was a whole small little river that went through the whole thing with a bridge that you can walk over. It must have been 40 feet tall, 50 feet tall maybe. It's a huge, huge enclosure. Another bird. And they put that plexiglass up to keep you from reaching out to them or giving food to them or anything, I'm assuming. Then after that, we had to go and get some buds. I've never been to a dispensary in Canada before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But we got ourselves 2 pre-rolled blunts. And it was different in the fact that you couldn't see any of the product. It was all in bags or boxes. You couldn't see what type of bud you were getting, which, is normal for pre-rolls. But I couldn't even see, buds for an eighth or a gram or whatever. It was all completely enclosed. So that was kind of lame. I would have liked to see the state of the buds, just to compare down to what we have at home. But we went for 2 pre-rolled blunts, and they had the screen that you could shop through all of their products with. It was a really small little dispensary. But, these blunts look fire, you know what I mean? And they were fucking dank. They were so good. It was wrapped very well. It had a really nice crutch. And so we got to the venue. We went to go see Jackson Wang in Vancouver, BC, obviously. And we had to spark it up beforehand, get a little pregame going. It was a dank-ass blunt. Dank-ass blunt. Got to the venue. It was the Thunderbird Sports Center, I think it was called. We got there a little early because I wanted to make sure to find my seats, and there were so many people. It took us so long. Well, actually, no. It didn't take us very long to get in, but it took a long time for everyone else to get in. We got our drinks. Oh, and this is the start of the show. I was so excited. So excited. I found Jackson Wang as an artist, I want to say a little over a year ago. And I just loved his music. Loved his whole vibe. So I was like, you know what? We're going to get these tickets and we're driving to Canada. So I was so hyped to go to this show. It was such good quality performance. There was a lot of thought into every single song. How do I say? I guess, more than a performance, it was a real show. And it felt like that. It felt like every song was very distinct in its vibe. Oh man, I'm getting chills rewatching this now because it was just so much fun, you know? People were going hard, people were singing along. Oh my gosh, and they had these huge confetti cannons and huge like sparkler firework things, fountain things on the side of the stage. Every song had a choreographed dance. So it was interesting to watch. It wasn't just listening to someone perform music. I even got Christian to start singing along a little bit. You can't tell here, but he was having a good time. Yeah, had so much fun. This was the main reason that we came, and so we were really looking forward to it. And he played a lot of songs. It was a really long show. It was over 2 hours. It was like 2.5 hours or something. And then I made sure to stop and get a t-shirt, a Magic Man World Tour t-shirt, just to commemorate it, you know, so I can have something to take home with me. And this is the next day. And now we are leaving. We are headed back into the US. Thought that was a cool monument. It has a little gate in there, a little decorative gate, and it says something like, "May these gates never be closed," which is hilarious because the southern border does not have the same feel whatsoever. But so it was easy to get back into the US. It took us actually a long time. It took us probably over an hour. We listened to the entire Kendrick Lamar album and part of the Mac Miller album. So once we finally got into Washington, it was pretty smooth sailing. We're passing through Seattle here. You can see the Space Needle and the port and all that good Seattle stuff. And we are finally home, and my cats were not too pleased. They didn't even really care. They were like, "Please stop touching me." But you already know the first thing I had to do when I got home. You already know. The first thing I had to do was hit the bong. Because that was a long drive. It was like a 6-hour drive, which is a beautiful drive. Washington is obviously a beautiful state, but it's a long time. So I was very happy to be home. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. And there will be more trips coming up. We are trying to go and see more things. But I hope you liked watching our road trip to Canada and our first time seeing a show in Canada as well, and seeing Jackson Wang perform. It was an amazing show. If you ever get the chance to see him, highly recommend it. Great artist, beautiful country, and we'll definitely be back. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.